Given that famously has band t-shirts, I feel like you should have worn your Jesus Lizard t-shirt and I should have worn a Rage Against the Machine shirt.
Right, okay. That'll be the next show.
Jean jackets. Nope is an interesting film. It's part spaghetti western, it's part extraterrestrial. Where do you start with a movie that has so many different themes?
You start with all those things. There are about 4 different, besides those 2 you mentioned, it's also it's really a brother-sister love story, a family love story. It's got some real heart in it, and then it's also an action-adventure, right? In a way that's surprising at the end. So it's important to really start in all those places and kind of find where they all could join and meet in a cohesive score.
Do you tackle them at the same time, or do you take each one as they come?
Well, it's one note at a time, ultimately. but I tackle them all at the same time, really.
Yeah. Can you talk about the process of working with Jordan Peele? Did he ever explain what a bad miracle sounded like?
We talked a lot about what that would be, and it was important that there be equal parts just awe and wonder that one would have as looking at something that is spiritual in its beauty, and also something that was just absolutely terrifying. and those 2 things had to live simultaneously for people to understand one of the themes of the film is that how we're all attracted to spectacle, even when we ought not to be, but we can't help it. And so a bad miracle is an example of something where we ought not to be, but we all just can't look away.
That sounds tough enough to do on film or on a script. How do you start that process, with the music?
Well, so we talked, after we talked about it a lot, I did some demos of different things, and what Jordan likes to do, I often don't even tell him what scene the music is for, because as the writer-director, I figure, if it goes in the film, Jordan will know, right? And he actually likes to move it around, actually, even when we have said the music will go for a certain scene, he will often move it to another scene. And it's really fascinating to see what that reveals about the character of the story. He really genuinely seeks collaboration from all of his department heads. So, I really feel like I have there's a high bar, but it's a joy to try to inspire him and the other people who are working in post.
He's got quite an ear himself. I've heard him talk about the certain sounds that he doesn't like, right?
Yeah, he really likes what he would call elemental sound, and what that means is sound that sounds like it began in the natural world, even if it's a processed sound. He's not a fan of the things that sound electronic or sound like a machine, and that's because in his world those things aren't scary, or they come from a different sort of more science fiction universe. And so even though when this film is his first foray into something that could be called that, notice that it's actually about a natural occurrence, and that's classic Jordan in the way he looks at storytelling and what's scary.
And the other thing about this film is there's quite a lot of silence in there. How does one go about helping with that?
So in the first conversation we ever had before Get Out, he said, I want silence to be part of the score.
So it's baked in.
Yeah, so silence is not just a part of note, but it's part of the how we work together and create the music. And in Get Out, I even used it's especially clear in the sunken place. There are giant pauses, and since then I've incorporated that as like that. I think of it as the negative space in the music. Is that the silence, it really adds to the tension, to the drama. There's so much you can do by writing the silence.
You essentially, I was going to say, you were essentially scoring the silence.
Never did I know how hard I would have to study in school, lead up all my life to leave the notes out. But it's actually, now that I've embraced it, I really get the power of it.
Yeah. Is it true you wrote the theme park music as well?
I did, yeah. Part of
it seems like the more fun side of it.
It's super fun to write the Jordan's source music. Although I do wonder if it's just a way to save on licensing fees. Sometimes I think he's actually tricked me. But aside from pleasing the producers, it's actually super fun because all of that, in all of his work, there's some aspect of satire, and some of it is more overt, and some of it is very sly. So I can't wait to see what genre he wants to take on, because I want to be right there with the music that completely embodies the genre, whether he wants that genre to be completely believable or whether he wants it to be just a little off. Or we talk about the level of satire and how the music might, play completely legit or play with just a slight wink, or it's really the slight difference of color in how you approach that. Like, this is a joke, or no, this, it makes a huge difference.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing what he does next, as well as yourself.
Me too. I'm not in the know. There's no.
Michael Abels, thank you very much.